Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here in the Weather Center. Time now is 11:25 p.m. and we thought we'd hop on here and talk a little about what is going on. We've got a storm now with a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to be for Menard County here. And we have a severe thunderstorm watch in McLean County. I don't think this will be that long of an update, but we thought we would hop on and just talk about things briefly here as we're just hanging out. And some of you probably are also watching some of the storms. And I'm a little disheveled here. Some of you are probably watching the storms and seeing it. Had a lot of messages about, hey, the lightning's impressive out there here. That is not surprising given how things look. And we are continuing to see that indeed here. So that's a look at radar right now. You can see one warning for Mason and Menard counties where that severe thunderstorm warning is. And then we have the warning in effect for it's going to be severe thunderstorm watch, I should say, McLean County. And that's what we're looking at. And it looks like maybe we've got that storm cluster trying to intensify just a little bit over there. So we'll take a peek at that. Then I do need to check in and make sure I can hear Kevin. I do not hear him yet. But I'm seeing there. Okay, there I can hear Kevin. So Kevin, we'll come to you here in a little bit. Kevin is in the background. Looks like maybe they didn't reset reset things for us with the receiver 10 after last week there. So there's Kevin in the storm tracker. We'll just start with you, Kevin. First off, Kevin, you can hear us. Let's go ahead and check in with you real quick here, Kevin. And you can tell us where you're at. What are you seeing? You're a little farther east than that severe thunderstorm warning. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm actually, ironically, I've made my way back to where I was about 4.5 hours ago in Leroy. And I'm just right on the leading edge of that line as it's coming in. Pretty impressive on the lightning. And actually, if you can make it out, this kind of dark area here, there's a little bit of a outflow boundary a little rain cooled outflow boundary that's like right in front of me here. And pretty good light show as we're looking to the north and west here I'm just northwest of Leroy by about a mile or so on some country roads. But you can kind of see I shut my lights off so you can kind of see it, but right in front of me there, I'm going to get kind of overtaken by it here in a few minutes as it kind of comes in, but quite a bit of lightning. I definitely noticed I was outrunning that outflow boundary, and it got actually pretty windy right just ahead of it. So there is some of that rain cooled air that's kind of coming in, but again, we're kind of looking at it right here, just watching it. This isn't warned, but you know, this whole line is continuing to kind of move to the south and east. And so, and as people were like probably saying, there's some good lightning in the storm here. So we're just kind of watching it here and keeping an eye on things. Like I said, it's about to hit me here in a few, but I'm just kind of enjoying the light show that's out here in the middle of the country here on this Friday night. Friday night storms. It's, Friday football fever. It's Friday lightning fantasticalness.
It's fun, Kevin, to see those storms out there and just have things going on for you. I know, really fun night for you. It's your anniversary night. Happy anniversary to you and your wife. And, of course, you're here with us, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm sure she's thrilled, but I'll have to make it up to her tomorrow or something. So actually, I think the exciting thing, we get to put together a swing set tomorrow.
Ooh,
for Zachary. So that's my Saturday. So
that sounds fun. And maybe this is the best gift you could give her is a little peace and quiet, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And the lightning is pretty fun to watch out here. There, I'll tell you that. It's been fun to just kind of look at the storm, but I haven't seen a ton of CG. But I saw one just pulling up here, but for the most part, it's been a lot of that cloud to cloud lightning, but pretty constant there for a period of time. But so we'll see here. Again, we're just kind of northwest of Leroy. Oh, there was one right there. I don't know if you saw that one or not. Oh, that was a good one.
I just pulled away because I wanted to show viewers. We had some folks asking where you are specifically, and there's Kevin and Leroy right now. He's looking off to the north and to the west here, and we still have that severe thunderstorm watch that goes from McLean County until midnight. It's 11:30 now. He's keeping an eye on those storms there. Probably the more intense part of that is west of Bloomington Normal. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning for the storm that's north of Oakford, moving south and east into northern Menard County, including Petersburg. Keeping an eye on that there. Kevin's got that storm there, and we've got that storm also to the west there. And it's been good to see those live camera shots out there. You know, to get those views can really help out. So, Kevin, we'll throw you back on here, and you've seen a little bit of lightning. Is that right? A little bit of cloud-to-ground lightning action?
Yeah. Yeah, just in the last, 10 minutes, actually, to be honest with you. Started noticing the cloud-to-ground lightning just a little bit more on this storm to the north and west. Basically, I mean, Bloomington's getting hit hard. I'm basically looking toward right to Bloomington. Actually, the lights that you see off in the distance, that's Bloomington up there to the north and west, and so they're getting hit pretty hard right now. And again, I'm over here just northwest of Leroy, so we're just kind of watching the light show. I shut the lights off every once in a while. Oh yeah, perfect timing there to kind of see those lightning strikes. But yeah, it's pretty impressive lightning, that's for sure, out here northwest of Leroy. So watch out for the storm as it kind of comes in here. It's going to bring that heavy rain and little gusty winds and some of that lightning. So we'll continue to watch it over here. Again, we're not in a warning, but kind of just below that. But I know when this storm comes through, you're going to go, whoa, it's a pretty good storm. So we'll watch and see if anything kind of increases here. Let's kill the lights one more time, see if we get a lightning strike. Give me one. Give me one. I know you can do it. Yeah.
It's being shy on you now. A little camera shy there.
Don't be. Oh, I feel the outflows is picking up. The corn here. The corn's just going to start to wave around a little bit. So we're getting right on the outflow. So right on the leading edge of the storm as it's kind of coming in. So it's that rain-cooled air that comes rushing down. You get that little burst of wind, and so we're starting to get that here where I am located. So that means in just a few minutes, I'm going to be getting the rain. So here we go. I guess I'll just keep trying to stay ahead of this thing and peel back, I guess, to Leroy and, I don't know, dive southeast on 74. But nothing too crazy, but definitely seeing the lightning out here tonight.
All right, Kevin, we'll check back in with you here in just a little bit, but we've been enjoying that lightning show come on in, and things looking pretty good out there. So there's where Kevin's location is. For this you're looking here, he is in the Leroy area and continuing to watch those storms. Now, I'm going to bring up some stuff for you here, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of the fine details. Right now, when we look at radar, the way we have the filter set is we have some of those lower reflectivity values that are kind of missing from this. But as I increase the sensitivity of here, sometimes when the radar is too sensitive, you can get a lot of bad data. It looks distorted. So we clean it up to make it look good in TV. We've got additional options where you can watch things here. But notice as I change that sensitivity, I wanted to show everything and not just things over a certain level here. So you get all those blues and whites that are popping up, a lot of noise and clutter. But one thing we're looking at here is you see this bluish line that pops out from Hayworth right over Kevin and Leroy off to Ellsworth and just north of Saybrook and then towards Sibley. That light blue line is the outflow boundary that is ahead of these storms. And oftentimes when we see the outflow boundary beginning to push out, that's a good sign. That means those storms are losing their source of instability. The cooler air is cutting it off from the ground, and you're generally on a weakening trend with that. So not a whole lot of concerns in McLean County right now. I'm sure there's folks in these areas, though, that are thinking, man, the rain and the thunder, we've already had enough. Please make it stop. And, thankfully, these storms are not sitting over any one particular area all that long. So concerns low right now in McLean County. probably the stronger storms are actually off to the south and west here. So here's Hartsburg, here's US 136, Logan County, Menard County, Mason County here. That storm is south of 136 in Mason County, so it's from Oakford to Mason City. And even in the Hartsburg-Emden area, a little bit of strong wind showing up on radar. This is reflectivity. Reflectivity shows you the intensity of any one particular spot of the storm. What I want to do now is I'm going to show you the velocity, and that velocity is how things are moving. We can look and see wind and what that looks like out there. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of impressive things here. There is likely some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds here in this storm that's north of Petersburg, moving to the south and east. And we have had some stronger returns show up here in the Hartsburg area now. If anyone's watching Hartsburg, see this brighter green showing up. Radar suggests very close to the ground, there could be some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and we're very close to that top of the radar. That radar sits right east of town, so because the radar is so close, we're getting a much lower look to the ground than, say, if we were looking at storms here in Champaign County, where we're farther away from Lincoln. Somebody says I'm echoing. Is anyone else noticing an echo? It might be because I have Kevin's mic on it. Maybe there's a feedback loop that's in place there. So hopefully that took care of that. As I back this up again, you can see some brighter greens picking up there. So coming down 121 from Hartsburg into Lincoln, might be some 40, 50 mile an hour gusts at a minimum. And then you can see here, there's not much wind showing up in McLean County. And you can almost make a velocity where that leading edge is. Lines up very well with where the rain-cooled outflow boundary is on the storm, so concern low there. But we do have that one severe thunderstorm warning here for Menard County. And we thought, since Kevin is out there and it's his anniversary night, we would make it worth his time and jump on digital. And we have that one warning that is in place there. Still have some people saying there's an echo. If you still hear that, I would like to hear that. I'm just double checking why that could be. I've got that mic on, nothing else is on. I don't think there should be that echo anymore. It's fixed now. Good. Okay, cool. Friday night, Brand Digital. It's a little rusty. I've been the one that's typically out in the storm tracker, and Kevin is usually the one that's hanging out in here. So, Kevin, I suppose I forgot how to use this stuff. It's been a little while since I've been in the studio for severe weather, right?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. What we do when we control everything there is actually, it's fairly difficult because you're literally controlling the mics and the shots, and then obviously you're doing radar and you're looking at stuff. There's a lot of buttons that you have to push back there. And when we're on TV and we've got like a director and stuff, like they're punching all the buttons for us when we're like in full on coverage. But yeah, when we do like this streaming stuff, you're the director, producer, audio, graphics, camera person, everything. So yeah, you've been out, obviously a ton over the last few months. And so a little bit of a switch up here, but yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it is a Friday night. Like I said, yeah, it is the old anniversary, but I've been enjoying the watching the storm out here, but I've also been enjoying listening to my Cubbies. My Chicago Cubs, they just tied the game up in the ninth inning, so on a home run. And so you may have actually been hearing some of that. I turned the radio up a little bit to listen to that after my last hit with you. So I'm listening to my Cubbies here on the radio, and just trying to keep ahead of the storms here and give you guys a little report too. So. But yeah, you probably, if you had my mic on, you probably were hearing that feedback through my mic and whatnot. But I'm sure.
Kevin, how were you listening to me? Were you listening to me through Bluetooth, or were you listening headphones? What's your? I've
got you on Unity on my speakerphone. I probably should put my IFB in so that people can't hear my phone with you, but. Yeah, I didn't have my.
It's Kevin's fault, everyone. It's not my fault for a change.
There it is.
So, yeah, we got the Cubs game out of here, Kevin. 5-5.
Yeah, they were down. Actually, they were down like 5-3 in the eighth, and they hit a home run, and then 5-4 4 in the 9th and hit a home run. So now it's tied up going in the bottom of the 9th, I think.
Yeah, we're in commercial now, so I'll have to peek back over there. So, well, Kevin, I'm going to let you go for a quick second, and maybe you can get your headphones on, and we can drop that audio.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was that audio where it's like the echo that's, a quarter second and sounds terrible, but knowing it's that makes me feel better that I haven't broken something here.
No, I think you're good. I just got to find my IFB here from earlier today in this
All right.
Accords. But well, I'm funny enough, I'm literally in Leroy, and I was just here, a few hours ago. So maybe I'll swing by the fall festival, see if they're tell them, hey, you better get out of here, better take shelter. It's about to hit.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, we'll check back in with you here in just a little bit. Let's get another radar update in here and show you what we're looking at. First off, looking at storms here from Bloomington to the south and west. It's not a severe line. There's a lot of lightning that's showing up there. But still going to be a quick line here. And you look here, the thickness of the line is not all that big here. Between Bloomington and Hayworth, those storms fit in from downtown Bloomington, and they're not quite to Hayworth yet. So at most 5 miles. And even here in Logan County, they're very thin. That thin line of storms is the front that's moving on through. So that is kind of what we're looking at. And then we still have the severe thunderstorm warning here for Mason and Menard County, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I tend to think the hail threat is not as much of an issue with that, but we are looking here. This radar beam, first off, is the lowest level, but if you look at the radar higher up into the storm, there are some signs that maybe there is at least some hail. I don't know if it's going to be quarter size with that in particular, but there could be some hail coming into Oakford and rolling right down 97 towards Petersburg. I think this stays east of Virginia. I think it stays east of Chandlerville. This is now really crossing the Sangamon River there as it moves to the south, and we'll be coming into Petersburg soon. Folks have been sending some photos and videos as well. In fact, why don't we just take a peek at the cameras out there, and I'm going to pull up that Springfield camera real fast here. You'll see here, there's Bloomington getting a little bit of that rain. The storms are now south of that camera. We'll pop on that Springfield camera, and then I'm going to control this here. Right now, that camera is more facing west and a little bit south here. But as we take that, and it'll take me a quick minute here to do that. Again, Kevin's said it best here. Now it's basically, when we do these digital things, it's us, ourselves, and us controlling things and there. So we'll turn that back here to the north and west and to the north and take a peek up there. Oh, that's actually some pretty decent lightning that's showing up there. So you'll see that camera move here as it does. Quite the view. Some electrical storms that are off in the distance there. And some folks are probably looking and saying, hey, there's heat lightning out there. Well, first off, heat lightning, not a concern. Not a thing, I should say here. Somebody just said something else. Heat lightning is lightning from actual thunderstorms. And it's actually not that hot out there right now either. So that is what we've got. Somebody said I got woken up with a tornado warning. I don't have any tornado warnings. I have a severe thunderstorm warning now in Menard County for that. As far as rotation goes, there's not really much there. We'll keep an eye on it here. It's the one storm that may be in a spot that could try and do a little mischief with it, but I just don't see it being a big issue at this point. But we'll watch. So you probably got a severe thunderstorm warning on your phone for that. Sounds like Kevin's still digging around for his IFB. I can still hear him in my ear here. Just getting some updates from the Storm Prediction Center. Localized severe threat may continue into the early overnight hours. They say the storm's been struggle to maintain intensity, which we have seen, but there have been times where there's been some quote-unquote transient rotation where they've seen it. We've been watching that too. Occasionally it kind of spins up a little bit, and then it weakens a little bit here. But they say that we could have a gradual weakening trend with time and extent south, but still could get a little bit of localized severe weather, including that warning that we have now there. So that's what we've got here. Let's go back to the radar, and I'll show you a couple things. First off, we'll look at reflectivity, and then we'll look at velocity. This storm doesn't even have a tornado possible tag on it, which is good news here. Sometimes we see like a red outline show up, and if that happened, then we'd say, okay, we're kind of moving that next step here, but I don't see that being the case. But maybe the one thing this storm has going for it is a lot of times you look for we call it the tail end Charlie. It's that last storm on the end of the line. And so there's your line segment. And if something has the best chance to try and do some mischief, it is that storm there. We'll keep an eye on it. The atmosphere has just enough wind shear here tonight to make it where we just kind of have to watch things with it here. So just kind of monitoring things here on that. And kind of looking here, you look here and you see some of these structures and they kind of curl around a little bit. If this was maybe a month earlier and we had a little more instability and a little less stable air that started to build in here as we cooled things off tonight, maybe we'd have a different story on our hands, because the wind profiles didn't look terrible here. There were 2 tornadoes reported in north central Illinois. Had one up in Lee County, northwest of Mendota, and that was kind of the Lee-LaSalle County line. And then you had another one in Putnam County near the Granville area, and that was earlier this evening when things maybe were a little bit more favorable on that. So we got to look at the reflectivity. Let's show you velocity here. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for bright reds and greens, and there's really not that. So tornado threat, not a concern here. There could be some wind. Sometimes we'll see these wind signatures pop up, but even that, it's not the most impressive. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's just some wind gusts in there. More impressed by the wind gust here north of Lincoln coming on in. So could be some gusty breezes coming on in. And the outflow boundary is not ahead of the storm. So coming down 121 here, there's old 66. You've got 55 right there. The Bell subdivision's up here on 121. Downtown Lincoln's here. National Weather Service is there. The airport is there. You've got the old prison down here. If you're coming into town, there's then the west side. And you got the Steak and Shake at the truck stop and the Walmart all over here on the business loop there. And we'll keep an eye. Probably some wind coming in there. But then there's no real bright colors further to the west here where Kevin's at. But he's out there still, and he's keeping an eye on things for us here. His location now, it looks like he's scooted down to 136 and probably heading in the general direction of home if I had to bet. But he's been out there, and there's his image here now. Looks like he's moving on through. Kevin, I've got your shot pulled up here, and it sounds like the audio echo is fixed. So if that's the case, then I'll probably just leave your mic on. It's 11:47, and we always said the rule is, what do we say about midnight, Kevin?
Anything goes after midnight, especially on a Friday night.
Hey, that's probably what I like.
A week ago, Friday night?
I think we did. And, I love a good midnight onward stream, but I feel like we also streamed almost every night last week, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Friday night was the real bad heavy rain and storms, and that led to all the flooding and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we are. I hopped on 74 in Leroy just to try to get ahead of this thing, go southeast. But it seems like the more kind of you go northeast on this line, the weaker it is. So it's not as strong Gibson City. It's not as strong Leroy. Stronger on that kind of tail end Charlie southwest kind of storm there. So, but interesting stuff there north of Lincoln, right? There's that little pocket of winds there just northwest of the Doppler there.
Yeah, and we'll probably get a fairly accurate from the airport, the observation site here soon of what's coming on. So I'll be curious to see what that anemometer pops up to. Some of the radar estimates here, some pockets, if you hit the right spot at 200 feet, it's measuring some 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts in there. Not a huge concern. We'll keep an eye on it here. More than anything, Kevin, the correct thing that we're doing tonight is it is Kevin's anniversary. And so to justify to his lovely wife why he is out late tonight, there you are, Kevin. We've got you on this big screen there. We got to make the justification. Hey, honey, why don't you still got dinner tonight with her, though, didn't you?
Well, yeah, we did. We went and tried one of the new Muhammad spots that have opened. We got Smith Burger and JT Walker's both opened there recently, and so I'm trying to support local down that way.
Yeah, and
I will say this, Jacob. You came to kind of help out and kind of swap vehicles and whatnot for us after where they're on the road. And you would think that some big Hollywood celebrities were in town because people were. Is that you and Jacob Dickey in the same? Both of you? What's going on? Oh my goodness! They were. I was like, that's just us.
Yeah. We tend to make people nervous when we show up to town these days because usually nothing good ever happens when we roll into town, right, Kevin?
That's right. That's very true.
So,
especially you.
Yeah, I've just gotten that. I don't want to say it's notoriety, but it used to be like, oh, hey, Jacob's coming to town. Come try our restaurants. And now people are like, get out, leave, go away. We don't want you here.
Get out. Yeah, exactly.
So, Kevin.
Sniping pictures of you in the storm tracker as you drive by.
Making up things like, oh, he's, they're probably trying to get the police to arrest me or run me out of town. Or, we don't want him here. Whenever he comes, there's damage and bad things happen. Even on a sunny day, sometimes I make people a little nervous, I think, with that. So, all right, Kevin, it's your anniversary, of course. How long have you been married?
6 years.
6 years.
6
and
years.
You've known Tamara
I got married in a pandemic.
Yeah, me too. But you were like the early part of that pandemic there. So 6 years. The question is, is your wife? Do you think she's watching right now, or is she's probably already off to bed?
No, not a chance. She's dead asleep.
She's gonna wake up and see the rerun and just go, "Oh, they were streaming last night. Something must have been going on." So we've got your back, Kevin. We got you covered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. I appreciate that. That.
And somebody on Facebook who knows your wife and watching right now is going to hop on and say, hey, Tamara, guess what the boys are doing last night? Is that how that goes?
There should be proof that we were doing this because we're streaming. So
There we go. All right, Kevin, we're going to check back in here in a little bit. Let's get a radar update and take a look at things. Kind of looks like the storm now fully into Menard County that has the severe thunderstorm warning. National Weather Service has not had a lot to say about it here. They're just kind of watching and seeing here now. Mason County will give you the all clear. This is south of the river, South Oakford. Coming into Petersburg, the lightning has been rather impressive with that storm. So there's some good rumbles, but the good news is these storms are very narrow. And you can see here those lightning bolts. There's a number of them that are yellow here. When we look at those yellow bolts, that tends to be a sign that the storm still is strong here. That's a positive lightning strike. You've got negative strikes, negative charge strikes, and positively charged strikes. We see a lot of those positive charge strikes. Usually it's a sign that those storms are still, ingesting some instability. And so usually those also are those thunderbolts that cause the lightning bolts that cause the thunder to seem to be louder with that there. And so loud storms coming in Menard County. And I know folks down in Springfield and places to the south there have also been seeing that. So you can see here off to the northwest, there still is here into Hayworth and Leroy, some thunder and lightning, and Gibson City as well, actually. Some of the thunderbolts kind of popping up there with the cell that's down by Harpster, south of east of Saybrook there. So, there's some thunder and lightning out there, but these storms are narrow. They're moving on through. We don't have concerns for flooding. We don't have concerns for significant impacts from that here. The later we go, the lower the threat is. We just have that one warning that's showing up there. And I look at a few other pieces of data here. And the storm in the Petersburg area in particular doesn't stand out to me as a huge problem here. In fact, I look at the storm even coming into Lincoln, and it looks like the rain cool there is starting to cut out ahead of that storm too. And that's a lot of times when you see that, the severe threat is lowering. So you're getting some noisy storms, and we're getting a little bit of activity out there, but I think largely our threat for storm activity and severe weather is going to go. So that's severe weather that's going to go down and down more and more. Let's just say, Bloomington, Peoria, you're done with storms tonight, and you may be done with storms for multiple days here. Looking at the regional radar, there's not many storms here. Again, I'm not worried about that. More than anything, I think we're going to be here to kind of offer some reassurance. The severe thunderstorm watch is set to expire here in 5 minutes for McLean County. Storms are in the southern part of the county. So Bloomington, you're done. We've got some quiet weather for the weekend, so I think we'll be able to enjoy that. We just got this little line to move on through. and it probably has a decent chance of pushing through most of the area, crossing I-72 in the next hour, making its way south here. It may persist, but I don't think it's going to persist to be a problem or a severe threat moving on forward. But we'll watch it. We'll keep an eye on it just in case as it moves on through, and watch it there. The most interesting cell is that cell that's in Menard County. That's the one that has a warning. I think that warning actually expires as well at midnight. Yeah, midnight. So we'll get an idea here what the National Weather Service decides to do. Marginal environment tonight. This really isn't looking like a big deal for us overall here. There still could be some hail in it. The direction that it's heading, as I back up here, maybe that hail is trying to pivot south towards Petersburg and Lake Petersburg, but it just doesn't stand out to me as a big issue. I'd be surprised. I don't think anyone's had any reports in there either. And then storms further off to the east, kind of gusting out. So Kevin's already back past Farmer City, making it towards Mansfield, kind of winded down here. So, Kevin, we might give this a few more minutes, and I know nothing good comes after midnight, or all good things come after midnight, or I can't remember what they say when it comes to the severe weather threat for us, but, we've got you driving along there, and we're just kind of hanging.
It's all good,
It's
man.
been a while. It's been a while since I've had the chance to stand in the studio and talk to you as you're in the Storm Tracker. So,
Yeah. It's been a second. That's usually definitely the opposite here, but just kind of staying ahead of the storm. I got to watch a little lightning, got to watch a little of the storm kind of coming in. It has, continued to kind of weaken. I was definitely impressed with the storms up there northwest of our area. Cannot believe some of the tornadoes that occurred over there. What just came across?
they canceled the watch.
Warning or something.
They canceled the watch.
Okay, canceled the watch. Okay, yeah. But
I heard
was
the echo
pretty
again, by the way,
impressed some of
Kevin.
the storms that. Oh yeah, I had, unfortunately I had to my phone is dead and I hadn't had it plugged in. So when I plugged in my my IFB to the phone, then that took away the charging port. So then I had to take it out so that I could charge the phone so I can still, it's just a mess. I think it's a sign that they're just going, all right, be done.
Be done. Well, and this is a chance for you to shake some rust on the Storm Tracker because you haven't been in that a whole lot recently, right? When's the last big event you were in there for? Or am I just misremembering things?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. Gosh, it would have been the day actually when I was I think when I was up. Do you remember that one day I was actually up in McLean County, wasn't I? And we had that big wall cloud.
You went over to Tazewell County and got the tornado, didn't you?
Oh yeah, gosh, okay. I think it would have been that same day. Yeah, the one that would have been the last one. I don't remember when that would that have been in June, or gosh, I don't even remember.
That could have been 3 years ago. The way things feel, Kevin.
Yeah, no. Whenever that storm was near Delavan. Yeah, but we started that day. I know during the 4:00 newscast, I had that like wall cloud there. I can't remember where that was in McLean County.
You were down south of Route 9. I think you were north of Leroy.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. That's where it was, and then I just kept going west there to get some of those other storms. But yeah, I think that might have been the last time. But the problem is I could not tell you what that date was. Cannot tell you. I do not remember. Had too many storms since then.
Yeah, it's been a year. That'd be the way to describe it. So
207 tornadoes?
206, I believe, is the number now, because we were at 204 and we got 2 today. So Somebody said you were at the Dixie truck stop in McLean. That's where Al Capone used to stop back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did wind up over there eventually that night. Yeah.
One outlaw back then, and then one outlaw recently. You.
Correct. That's all correct. Friday night. Oh, it's officially midnight, folks. It's officially midnight. Look out. On a Friday night, Saturday morning. That's when the craziness happens.
The rules change, and now we can say what we want, right, Kevin? All right, what's on your mind? What are you really thinking now, Kevin?
The FCC doesn't control anything after midnight, so we're good. We're good here. I'm thinking that now that we have Ian we probably will not have any severe weather for at least 6 months.
You know, we did joke. We said, Ian's here. We'll not have a tornado warning for 6 months. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he's already, weakening this line as it comes through. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Usually August, September is supposed to be kind of calmer weather-wise for us here. And then maybe things kick up in that secondary severe weather season, November sometimes. But we'll see what happens. But I do think we got some pretty calm weather here coming here in the short term. So I think a lot of us are looking forward to that.
I hope so, Kevin. I am one of those people.
For sure. I'm sure the chat is too.
Yeah, some folks saying, somebody says they live right next to Al Capone's house in Iroquois County. He used to also stop at the truck stop at right between Pawnee and Auburn. He was known to be in that part as well. And my mind is trying to remember. That's the other thing after midnight. I feel like my mind just gives up. Simic is what it was. He used to be in the Simic. Long time folks know that. Simic's just north of Divernon. It's kind of that little truck stop area. I don't think there's any houses there anymore, but you get off for 104 between Auburn and Pawnee, and he used to be known to hang out over there as well. So, midnight, no warnings, no watches anymore, Kevin. Let's take it back to radar real quick. I'm going to mute your audio because somebody kept saying there's hearing an echo, and that could be a little annoying for him. But this is what we got. The watches and warnings all have been canceled. We had that earlier severe thunderstorm warning here in Menard County. I think this would be a different situation if we were a month earlier, but thankfully, as these storms move south and the later we go, they're moving at a stable air. We're not seeing a lot that's going up. You can kind of see that leading edge. So zero concern, Ford County, Champaign County, and really McLean County. It's western DeWitt, Logan, and Menard County where there's a little bit of wind showing up, but it's not overly impressive here. As I switch from velocity to relative velocity, I just don't see bright colors, which is good. Storms are trying to move south. They're moving into more stable air, and that's kind of eating away at them here. But still can't rule out some frequent lightning. That's been the one thing. I know sometimes people wake up and they think, uh-oh, what's going on? And, we just aren't all that worried with that. But those storms that are in the Petersburg area and, coming into Clinton, even from Gibson City, some of those lightning bolts definitely are probably, thunder boomers are a little crash and a bang with them. So here's that sprinkle camera. It has been fun to watch the lightning. Kevin, you seen a lot of lightning out there?
A lot of lightning on the storms. It was constant there for a good period of time. So that's the thing is, pretty electrically charged storms here that are, really kind of showing all that lightning that's out there. But just remaining, all the other parameters are below severe limits. So that's some good news there. So, yeah, things look to be calming down here with no warnings and just maybe a good old-fashioned thunderstorm that people can enjoy for once.
I don't know who's enjoying a thunderstorm when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I used to be able to enjoy a storm and just sit and watch and listen to the rain and see the lightning. And but yeah, lately it's been every time it does storm, it's severe. So maybe we can catch a break on this line and it'd just be good old fashioned thunderstorm that doesn't have flooding, doesn't have wind, doesn't have anything crazy. It's looking that way.
Yeah, just checking some of the atmospheric variables, and I feel like we could probably just wrap this Canarba wagon up, Kevin.
I think so too. I say we wrap her up here and call it good.
All right.
Call it good for tonight. Let the folks just enjoy a storm.
Yeah, well, we'll be here just in case. Hey, there's Kevin on screen now. Kevin, now we get to switch before we do anything. I'll bring you back here in a second. So I've got Kevin's split screen there. He's on the right. I'm on the left. Kevin, now we get the chance here. It's after midnight. It's I guess technically your wife's anniversary. You and your wife's anniversary was now yesterday, but we got to ask the important questions here, Kevin. 6 years, and so we're gonna find out 6 new things about you and your wife and quiz you a little bit. It's like one of those old TV game shows, Just make you a little nervous here. Put you on.
Yeah.
All right, your wife's favorite fast food. What's her go-to?
Oh, Taco Bell, easy.
Really?
That's easy. Oh yeah, she loves Taco Bell.
Okay, what's her order?
If it's fast foods, her order. I mean, I don't know. Tacos. I don't know.
Oh no.
It's tacos.
He's 1 for 2. All right, what's her favorite vegetable?
Tacos.
You seemed a little unsure there, though. You were like, "Oh, I don't know, tacos, right?" Well, yeah, it's Taco Bell, but
yeah, she gets anything.
She just wants Taco Bell. That's it. She's not picky like you, right?
Yeah, I mean Taco Bell. She probably gets something different every time. So, yeah. But favorite vegetable? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know vegetables very well because, I don't eat vegetables. So, so I don't even know that. Okay, let's see here. I know this. She doesn't like tomatoes.
Really?
Does not. So, when she gets her tacos, she doesn't get tomatoes on them. I know that. But vegetable. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll be honest though, I don't like tomatoes all that much either. Like I've recently gotten into putting in some cherry tomatoes in like pasta dishes, but just tomatoes in general. I want them in a sauce and I want them on pizza. That's about the extent that I've got. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have time for another question or two here? Or you wanting to get out of here? I'm not sure what you're.
Sure.
I don't know if you got long plans tonight or anything like that. I don't even know. Are you back in the area yet? Yeah, you're pretty much. I see you there.
In the area.
All right. Okay. Last question. Maybe we'll do one more question. What's your favorite music artist?
Say it again.
Favorite music artist. Favorite band.
Favorite band? Oh, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton. That's easy.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
She's easy to please in that. You were going to go to the Dolly Parton theme park a couple years ago. Did you guys make it over there?
No, we did. Yeah, we did. Ironically, we went to Dollywood on the same weekend that it rained so much that it flooded Dollywood the night before we were supposed to go. And we thought that we weren't going to be able to go. Like the park flooded. They closed it early on that Friday. And we're supposed to go on Saturday. And they opened late on Saturday. But we still got to go. But of course, it rained like 10 inches over the park the night before. And I was like, yep, that sounds about right. That's what would happen to us. So, but we did get to go. But of course, weather had to have an impact.
All right, tell us one nice thing about your wife. This should be hard to do, right?
One nice thing about my wife is that I think most wives would absolutely throw a fit at the schedules that both you and I have and the things that go into what our jobs are, their understanding is pretty like it would not work if she didn't understand. And I'm sure the same for you. Like if like they would get mad or get, or feel like, you're choosing work over me. Like there's none of that. And I think that's the most refreshing thing, because I don't think that everyone is like that. So,
No, we definitely scored lucky in that department. You and I, blessed might be the better way to say that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we both outkicked our coverage. It's fine. We can say it.
Yeah, you and I are like 3s, maybe 4s, and our wives are, 8, 9, 10s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
All right, Kevin.
The understanding part. That's good.
Yeah. Well, Kevin.
All right, man. I hope we're good here. I think we're good for tonight. So enjoy the storm coming in, and hopefully no issues.
Yeah, I'll probably hang out here for just a little bit, but just in case your wife asks, where were you on anniversary night, Kevin? We were covering storms for you, and we have some storms there. So, Kevin, you're out. Have a good night. Say about last wave there. I'm going to wrap things up here for us and just kind of check a few things. But looking out there right now, lightning and thunder coming into Springfield. Maybe some of you are catching this later. It is noisy. That is expected here. So far, we haven't had any severe weather reports in our area. We had one warning. We did have a watch. And we were watching just that lightning rolling through. I'll do one last loop on the radar. I got a little bit of things I can do behind the scenes here for a little while longer. Just keeping my eye on that Menard County storm coming into Sangamon County here. But largely, just some general thunderstorms with some frequent lightning. Now Fisher probably getting a thunder boomer north of Mahomet rolling in. Farmer City, Route 54 through DeWitt, Clinton, the Clinton Lake area, and towards Kenny and Chestnut. And then we get those storms there north of Springfield and into the Petersburg area. The Petersburg storm looks like the most intense one at this point, but it's not really a big problem. There still could be some hail coming in the direction it's going. It's going to ride down 97 into Salisbury and coming to the northwest side of Springfield there. So, and I feel like Springfield recently has had some, I won't call it bad luck per se, but we've had storms not look all that significant, and then they roll into Springfield, and you're like, oh wow, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and 8,000 people out of power today. So we'll keep an eye on it here, but they're noisy storms coming on through. I just don't have much concerns here. I again think that if we were a couple hours earlier and we had a little more instability, maybe things would be the case. If you remember at the start of this, if you've been here long enough, I changed the sensitivity of that radar a little bit, and I'll do that again now before we wrap things up here. But I'm looking to see where that outflow boundary is, and that blue line here is just ahead of that storm. Not by much. Those outflow boundaries make or break things, but we'll kind of watch it there. So we'll keep an eye on that. It being ahead of the storm gives me the idea maybe that rain cool air is pushing out. Where that is more obvious is over here with storms that are coming into Piatt, Champaign County. See that blue line right there? That's going to be that shelf cloud that you kind of watch storms come in from. We saw that from Kevin. The rain and storm activity is actually behind that a little bit. But, keep an eye on that here and see. But largely, I think storms are more noisy than anything, which is a good problem here. Some folks saying heavy lightning and thunder. And, it's a very small little band that's coming on through here. And by 2 a.m., I'll be surprised if there's much left there. In fact, why don't I just before we go there, we are at 12 o'clock looking at storms here from northern Champaign County to northern Sangamon County. And I could show you real quick here the future track to get an idea of how things are progressing. And typically it does a pretty good job here. It's picking up on that general idea that, these storms may clear all the way down through I-70, but then tomorrow, looking good. We got a nice weekend ahead of us. All right, folks, that wraps it up here for our digital coverage online. Just a little extra coverage on here. Gets the chance for me to shake some rust and just watch some storms, but we'll keep you updated. Next time I will see you is at 8 a.m. on the morning show. So we will see you then, and just not worried about it. I think we're good. So maybe get some strong gust of winds. Should something else happen, I'm going to be around here for a little while. I probably got some things to grade and take care of things. So we'll watch.